proud to serve northeastern and central Pennsylvania. This is WNEP TV 16, the news station. Now, Nolan Johannes, Karen Harch, Jack Ruland in Skycam 16, meteorologist Tom Clark with his backyard forecast, and Tim Carlson Sports. This is Newswatch 16 Update.
Good evening. A problem in the Poconos is front page news in the latest Wall Street Journal.
And some people are not very happy with the publicity. The article is about a development called Wild Acres. It seems hundreds of people bought lots in Wild Acres, but they can't build there because the land cannot handle sewage systems. Newswatch 16's Melissa Sander went to the Poconos today to find out how the Wall Street article might affect the real estate business.
An article about consumer ripoff in the Poconos, a land deal that isn't a bargain. With a nationwide readership, this could have an effect on future land sales in the Poconos.
What it does, it makes someone who is selling land with septic and wells more difficult to sell, because people will come up after reading an article like that and they'll be more skeptical about buying land.
This real estate broker says the development named in the article, Wild Acres, is far from the first case of Pocono development selling land that can't support sewage treatment plants and septic tanks.
It's taken the legitimate developer a long time to outlive that reputation.
Cliff Hardy is now selling lots on his new development in Price Township. He's worried about what the story can do to the land sales market as a whole.
Sure, in this article they're telling you the bad, but why don't they go a little bit further and tell you the good? Tell you about the good developments in the Poconos.
But Cliff Hardy doesn't think an article like this will hurt a new developer like himself. He says that's because there are so many government restrictions and tests now to make sure that when you buy a piece of property in the Poconos, it's one that you can build on. Ironically, both the broker and the developer see a way the article could work in their favor. While it may scare away some prospective property buyers, it could also welcome a more educated consumer. Melissa Sander, Newswatch 16, Monroe County.
If all goes according to plan, people in a Plains Township trailer court should be able to drink their tap water without boiling it first by late January or early February. For 3 years now, residents of the Pocono Park Trailer Court have been under a boil advisory to get rid of Giardia contamination. It all started with the giardiasis outbreak in Luzerne County around Christmas of 1983. The people here are the only ones still advised to boil their drinking water because chlorine hasn't worked. The water isn't in the pipeline long enough for it to be effective. By next week, work on a pipeline extension should be finished. Then it will take another month or so of tests to make sure the water here in Plains Township is safe to drink.
There will be a new man in Washington to answer investigators' questions about the Iranian arms scandal. As ABC's Roger Peterson reports, President Reagan has picked NATO Ambassador David Apsher for that job.
David Apsher has been the U.S. ambassador to NATO for almost 4 years. In his new job as special counselor to the president, a position carrying cabinet rank, Apsher will have the task of coordinating all White House responses to requests for information about arms sales to Iran and diversion of funds to the Nicaraguan rebels.
I will give advice directly to him, and I will carry out a coordinating function. And I think this enables the regular business of the White House, which is so important in foreign and defense policy and domestic policy, to go forward.
The decision to put someone in the job was made early this week after President Reagan discussed it with Chief of Staff Donald Regan and others, according to White House officials. They insisted there was no dissatisfaction with the way things have been going, but there is a concern that people might get bogged down with Iran and have trouble handling the usual crush of business that starts off the new year. Thus, the Apsher appointment. No word yet on how large a staff Ambassador Apsher will have in his new job, but with all the new groups being formed to look into arms sales to Iran, special committees in both the House and the Senate, an independent counsel to investigate possible wrongdoing, the Tower Commission looking at the activities of the National Security Council, and now a special counselor to coordinate White House responses. If nothing else, the Iran affair continues to generate dozens of new jobs. Roger Peterson, ABC News, the White House.
One of Hollywood's veteran stars has died of pneumonia. Elsa Lanchester was 84 years old. She was best known for her role in the 1935 horror classic, The Bride of Frankenstein. She also starred in such films as The Spiral Staircase, Witness for Prosecution, and Mary Poppins. Movie theaters say this weekend between Christmas and New Year's is one of their busiest times of the year. Newswatch 16's Dan Fiorucci checked out the holiday rush at some theaters in Luzerne County this evening.
Okay, thank you.
It's the time of year when movies really pack them in, and ticket sales shoot up.
2 Heartbreak Ridge.
The main reason for the big sales, lots of students with lots of vacation time on their hands.
A little extra money, too, yeah, from Christmas, now that we're off at school now.
Of course, not everyone's thrilled with the big crowds.
Whole thing was packed.
Were you able to see the movie?
Yeah, you were able to see the movie, but all the seats were filled.
In anticipation of packed theaters, Hollywood reels out a host of new releases at this time of year, like the critically acclaimed Morning After with Jane Fonda.
Yeah, I'm just leaving.
But for a while last night, there was more action off the screen than on. A fire in an upstairs popcorn popper forced a brief evacuation of the 4 mall theaters. But firemen say the evacuation was orderly and no one was endangered. Now the movie theaters are back in business and hoping for a normal holiday season. Dan Fiorucci, Newswatch 16, Wilkes-Barre Township.
Coming up, the returns in the mail and the returns at the mall.
Plus, a little later, it may never snow in Southern California, but the weather is just fine for a sleigh ride. The stories as Newswatch 16 update continues.
The biggest sale of its kind. Dice Road's After Christmas Coat Sale. Now at Dice Road's, downtown Hazleton and Lycoming Mall. Shop soon while selection is best.
Don't be a crab. Put a smile on your face.
Don't be a crab. Instead, come to Vic Mars in Edwardsville and enjoy seafood at its finest. Sunday through Thursday, Vic Mars offers the all-you-can-eat special. Mix or match fresh pink shrimp, fried clams, hard shell crabs, or fried shrimp served with golden fries and coleslaw.
We're really cooking at Vic Mars. Seafood for every taste.
'Tis the season for returns. Tax returns, that is. They're coming to you through the U.S. mail. Uncle Sam, taking a chance on being called an after-Christmas Scrooge, is mailing out your 1986 income tax forms. Postal employees, such as these in Wilkes-Barre, were sorting the returns today in offices throughout the land. And yes, Virginia, there is an April 15th. It comes sooner than most of us would like.
Tax returns are not the only returns keeping people busy this holiday weekend. It's the return of the Christmas gifts to the store. In this department store in Wilkes-Barre Township, all you had to do was follow the arrows to the exchange table. And it seems there was a rush of people taking back gifts that Santa probably meant for someone else. Action 16's Jerry Gartenberg was out in the after-Christmas crowds in Lackawanna County and has some advice for those of you storming the stores.
I bumped into 2 types of day after Christmas shoppers. People looking to return things and people looking for bargains. Did you get any good deals today?
Yes, I did.
Bargain hunters here at this Dixon City store seem to be rejoicing over Christmas clearance sales.
Half price, and the kids are going to be happy, and that makes me happy.
How much do you think you saved today?
Oh, my... Half price. Yeah, at least $15, $20.
But remember, if the store hiked up the price before Christmas, getting half off may not be as good a deal as it sounds. To get the biggest bargain, make sure an item that says 25 or 50% off means you get 25 or 50% off the regular selling price, not some higher price. Bargain hunters stand a pretty good chance of getting a good deal on things like Christmas wrapping paper, cards, and Christmas trees. All this stuff here is half off the usual selling price. Of course, you might feel holding on to this stuff for a year isn't such a bargain. Some other tips for bargain hunters. Take a close look at those things just waiting to be plucked off the shelves. What good's a good price if the thing's ripped or you find some other defect? Also, if you have time, compare prices at different stores. Did you just return something?
Yes, I did.
Did you get your money back?
Yes, I did.
Did you get back what you paid for it?
Yes, I did.
Wouldn't it be great if things were always that easy? Remember, stores don't have to accept returns. Those that do may only exchange or credit your purchase. If the store you shopped at gives money-back returns, make sure you get back as much as you paid. A dated sales slip's usually the best defense. Now, if that gift you got for the holidays turns out to be a real lemon, it's broken or has some other defect, you have a right to take it back to the store where you bought it and ask for your money back. But if your complaint falls on deaf ears, don't be afraid to write to the product's manufacturer. Happy holidays and many happy returns.
Jerry Gartenberg, Action 16.
Next, a happy young dad who they're all keeping everything they found under their tree. Meteorologist Tom Clark.
I hope they have a lot of batteries for all those toys at home.
Kristen's worn out many batteries up to this point. I got to take back a pair of slippers and a couple of coats.
Not bad.
Santa has so many sizes to remember, you know.
That's the thing, yeah.
Folks, we need a sunny day badly, and when we come back, we'll talk about if we have any chances of seeing the sun this weekend. You're watching Newswatch 16 Update on WNEP TV, and we're proud to serve Stroudsburg and all of Monroe County.
That special feeling on any beat. That special feeling on any beat. What can I get you?
What'll you have?
Down home flavor.
What'll you have?
Country flavor. Give me a Pabst Blue True Blue Ribbon, Pabst Blue Ribbon beer. I demand the taste and flavor. I demand real True Blue flavor. Pabst Blue Ribbon beer.
There are 2 lights burning tonight on menorahs in Jewish homes around the world. This is the first day of Hanukkah. And on this large symbol of the Festival of Lights in downtown Wilkes-Barre at the United Penn Bank, the start of the 8-day Jewish observance began. It is an annual reminder that oppression must always be opposed. Jews celebrate Hanukkah with gifts each day, special foods, and traditional Hebrew songs. But if you think this menorah in downtown Wilkes-Barre is large, look at this lighting ceremony accomplished today in Manhattan. It will be the world's largest menorah. 2 rabbis lit this one by being raised in a cherry picker, and they used blow torches for the lighting. Hanukkah marks a Jewish victory over the Greeks some 200 years before the birth of Christ. The world's largest menorah in New York City.
That is big.
Big.
Yeah,
Let's hope it doesn't get too windy there, though, to blow them out.
That's
Boy.
right.
How's
Well,
it out there tonight, Tom?
Not too bad, Karen. Not much wind at all. As a matter of fact, for the next few days, I see very light winds and no storms heading our way. Cloudy skies over the backyard now and all of Pennsylvania. And it looks like those clouds will persist for at least a few more hours anyway. Let's begin on the weather watch tonight down in Carbon County, where Mimi McGinley, my weather watcher in Lehighton, has 30 in her backyard and cloudy skies. Bob Zarensky in Laughlin has 34 degrees, and Jim Williamson in Mooresburg, Montour County, has 36. Out back now, cloudy skies everywhere. And tonight's holiday house is all trimmed in lights tonight, and it is the Kerchuk residence along Chestnut Street in Avoca. Let's check the readings out back now. We have a temperature of, well, it's in the mid-30s now. The humidity 64%. The wind from the northwest, very light at 5 miles per hour. And the barometer 30.16 and holding steady. 39 and 34 the range here today. 1 below zero, set back in 1914, the record low. 1 year ago today, the high was only 11 degrees. Well, let's talk about some warmer weather. The Fiesta Bowl is just a week away, and some of you will be there to see Penn State beat Miami. During the past week, the range of high temperatures in Tempe was 57 and 70. Now, the range of lows at night went from 43 to 52. Now, normals for game day, January 2nd, are 65 and 38. So we can all expect the weather to be comfortably cool for the game and probably mostly sunny. Now, Tim Carlson's happy to hear about that. 65 for the high. He likes that kind of weather. Let's check the satellite view. Out there in Arizona tonight, nice and clear, which is not unusual for this time of year, and plenty of clear skies over the southwest. But what is usual for us is a lot of cloud cover this time of year, and these are low, shallow clouds, the darker shades of gray as contrasted to the brighter shades of clouds down over the Gulf of Mexico. Very wet, stormy weather pattern down that way tonight. Florida having the worst weather across the country tonight. Elsewhere, there is no rain or snow falling at this hour, not even enough to measure, but it looks as though we have this high-pressure system here that's just too weak to dissipate these clouds, and so I suspect that the gray shades will be around again tomorrow as this high moves over the area, and then I think things will brighten up a little bit more as we head into Sunday. 76, the warmest spot in the country today, down at Hollywood, Florida, and 6 below out in Jackson, Wyoming for the cold spot this morning. So for tomorrow, the clouds persist. Another cold day with temperatures holding for the most part mid to upper 30s. Honesdale 36, Stroudsburg about 38, Danville 39, LaPorte 34. A tranquil day with the wind from the north-northwest at no more than 7. Here's the sunrise time for tomorrow, 7:28 a.m. And day's getting longer now. 4:41 is the sunset. Cloudy overnight tonight, mostly cloudy tomorrow. A few peaks of sun, but that's the best we're going to do. 38 for the high tomorrow. Partly sunny on Sunday, a little bit better, but I don't see any storms affecting us through Tuesday of next week. So have a good one.
All right,
Hey, you
Tom.
too.
Okay. Coming up, Tim Carlson with a fun farewell for Penn State and the team heading out for the Fiesta Bowl.
Plus, high school basketball holiday tournament style. The Sports Watch is next.
No more excuses for spots.
Spots.
The kids probably unloaded the dishwasher.
I think she borrowed them.
Louise.
I air-dried these dishes.
No more excuses for spots with new improved Cascade. Under tough conditions like air drying, other leading brands can leave spots. Cascade's advanced sheeting action leaves dishes virtually spotless. Let's start over with Cascade.
Beautiful.
Everything looks wonderful.
Even when you air dry, there's no excuse for spots with new improved Cascade. When America was young, beer was something special. Brewed in small batches by small brewers all across the land. Only one remains, Yuengling. That's right, 5 generations of the Yuengling family have been helping us quench our thirst since 1829. What a tradition. What a great beer. America's oldest is still America's best. Yuengling.
Well, Penn State fans all over, and especially people at State College, if they weren't a believer before, had to be a believer after today, right, Tim?
It was a lot of fun, and I'll tell you what, I think you're going to enjoy the next week around here because you're going to get a lot of Penn State information. Get ready, Penn State fans, because for the next 7 days, you'll be hearing about every move the Nittany Lions make as they get ready to play Miami for the national championship next Friday night in the Fiesta Bowl. The Lions' first move today, leaving for Tempe, Arizona. But before they left, about 1,000 faithful fans gave the boys in blue and white a rousing send-off from Harrisburg International Airport. Governor Dick Thornburg and wife Ginny led the crowd in offering wishes of good luck, while head coach Joe Paterno and several players promised to bring back a national championship.
I guess we'd just like to continue this by making your Christmas complete and bringing back the #1 crown back to State College.
Shortly after the brief pep rally, the Nittany Lions were off to Arizona in their 747 jumbo jet. 2 crews from Channel 16 will be headed out to Tempe, Arizona in the next few days, and I can't wait. Sunshine, warm weather, and a national championship game. Eat your heart out, Karen. Live reports begin Monday night at 6 here on Newswatch 16 and Sports Watch 16. A ton of high school holiday basketball tournaments underway tonight. All the scores coming up, but first, action from the Pete Taronis Scranton Tribune tourney. Game 1 here, Mid-Valley and Lakeland. Second half action, the Spartans down by 8. They cut the lead to 6. Ron Yanoski goes inside. Lakeland swings it around. Joe Udula, the 15-footer. Yanoski right back again, and he's off balance and he hits. Vidula for the Chiefs this time from 20 feet out. Swish, Lakeland up by 8. But Mid-Valley comes back taking a 1-point lead on the fast break layup by Rick Kenny, and they go on to defeat Lakeland 59-51. Game 2 featured Mid-Valley and Carbondale. The Cougars on the board first. Bob Pagula hits from 18 feet right there. And the Chargers go inside to 6'6" Jim Owens, and he just lays it right in there. Carbondale takes the lead. Mark Ulmer will hit the soft 14-footer. What a nice shot there. Valley View comes back, though. Rick Bray in the middle nails the turnaround jumper, and the Cougars down by just 1. Then the loose ball picked up by Pagula. He finds Mike Hughes for the nice drive and layup, and the Cougars up by 1, and they win a nail-biter 53-52 over Carbondale. Now, all the basketball tournament scores from tonight. Remember, the winners are on top. That's the high school stuff. Now right to college top 20 basketball tonight. And what a blowout tonight for Oklahoma. They beat Creighton 106-89. Indiana took care of Princeton 83-54. Checking out the NBA, Detroit over Golden State 121-106. And Cleveland beat New Jersey 121-112. Oklahoma All-American linebacker Brian Bosworth, banned by the NCAA from playing in the Orange Bowl for failing a random drug test, spoke with the reporters in Miami today, saying he did use anabolic steroids, but way back in March, and used the drugs as prescribed by a doctor to help heal an injury. The NCAA banned Bosworth from playing in the Orange Bowl New Year's night after a random drug test revealed steroids in his system. The NCAA started the random drug testing recently, hoping it would help rid college sports of drug abuse among athletes. Bosworth, by the way, says he may appeal the ruling by the NCAA just to clear his name. Some high school wrestling tournament action around here tonight. We check out the final standings in a couple of those tournaments with the scoreboard right here. In the Hughesville tournament, East Juniata beat South Williamsport and also Hughesville. And one other score tonight in high school wrestling, Lehighton over Whitehall 48-16. National Hockey League scoreboard, the Rangers over Jersey 7-4. Washington beat the Islanders 2-1. Montreal Hartford a 1-1 overtime tie. Pittsburgh and Buffalo, the same result, only a 3-3 tie. Detroit beat Toronto 4-2. Fishing game forecast for tomorrow. I'll be here tomorrow and all next week as I head out to Tempe for the Fiesta Bowl.
Have a good time and a safe trip.
Thanks a lot. Bring back some maracas or whatever those things are.
Yeah, and some sunshine.
Okay, sure. See you
We'll
later.
be looking for your reports.
Still ahead, where the sleds go without the snow.
But first, tonight's lottery numbers.
Here comes the best beer of your life. Give this man his first Moosehead. Moosehead, right from Canada.
Oh, well, wilderness north of the border comes a beer for America made to order. And every beer man with a Moosehead in his hand is gonna be a Moosehead man for life.
This is incredible. Told you. Great beer.
Be a Moosehead man for life.
Introducing the Subaru 3-door. A perfect car with a nightlight. A perfect car with a wildlife. And a perfect car for real life.
$500 factory rebate on any 86 Subaru XT, offered good through December 31, 86.
Finally tonight, youngsters who were given sleds for Christmas here in Pennsylvania may have to wait a few weeks to take their gifts for a test ride.
But some kids in California don't have to wait for the snow. These kids were sliding down the slopes outside San Francisco today. Sometimes it does snow in the California mountains, but this year there hasn't been much of the snow. So Marine World in Vallejo, California decided to make its own artificial snow for the kids to play in. And one thing's for sure, they certainly had a lot of genuine fun in the fake California snow.
In short-sleeve shirts, though, Les.
Oh, yeah.
That's Newswatch 16 update for Friday.
Nightline is next.
For the team, thanks for being with us.
Good night and enjoy your weekend.